Well, I remember when I was a child, I was always attracted to like places where people disposed things, like garbage place. Me and a friend of mine, we would go there and try to salvage things, pick up things from, you know, whatever people threw away. I started thinking about how to create art with those things by putting them together. I started incorporating ceramic, and then I discovered that by putting ceramics only together, that was called mosaic, and that was something that the Romans and the Greek did for a long time. I remember a poem that says, I like things, I like cups, forks, silverware, and I was always fascinated by that expression. And I realized that, like that poet, I loved ceramics. So I started incorporating it into my art. We are in a moment in our existence as human beings where we have to be in synchronism and frequency with our planet. It's only one planet, so we have to take care of it, and it's our responsibility to preserve it. I believe that if every individual, like the way I do, get conscious about what they can do to save the planet, even if it is a little thing like picking things on the street and incorporating and creating my art with that, if we all do that and do our little part, I mean, it's really something great for the planet. The mosaic I create is actually a kind of mosaic called pique-assiette, which in French is broken china. I incorporate ceramics, but also plates, cups, everything, you know, that we used to eat in terms of ceramics, and I use the print on the china. Like, for instance, where there are strips, I see windows, I see domes, eyes. The different parts of my, the expression that I use comes from the print on the china. It's an inspiration. I am always picking things off the street, found objects. I'm fascinated by things that I find on the street. And most of the time I'm with a bag. And yes, I use everything that I can, everything that inspires me. I'm inspired by objects. I put them together, it's my forte. I made a show in Rush Philanthropic called Santeria, about the Afro-Cuban deities, represented all with images that were incorporated into found objects. So I show Yemayá, Oshun, Erewa, all those deities of the Afro-Cuban religion. Latin American art in general is characterized by the use of materials. It's, I mean, magic realism was an ism that, one of the few isms that grew up that was born in Latin America. And that thing of expressing things, you know, like in a crazy way, with a kind of like a surrealism of the tropic, and Latin America is something typical of Latin American art. So Cuban people, they have limitations with materials, but also, I don't know if it is because of the material or because we like it, but we generally tend to incorporate everything into our art. It's a magic art.
Magic family. No one's ever believed about my magic family, my cousin with 3 legs, or my aunt who could fly. Cats that projected their bodies against the sky, birds that smashed against the window. The most magic of all was my grandma. The magic only disappeared one day when the house was left for a moment alone. My aunt, the bird, lost the strength of her wings. 3 legs, the cousin, disappeared in the war. The kids of today know nothing about this, and those of us who witnessed it have forgotten. We even doubt if that was ever true. And see, if forgetfulness and doubt are bad, that no matter how in my memory Grandma keeps revealing rabbits and cards, her image is every time more and more blurry.
You are the product of everything you lived, everything you saw. I don't believe in like spontaneous generation. So you are what you were, what you saw, what you grew up with. And my art is marked by Latin American culture in general. Well, I'm doing a commission for somebody who contacted me through Facebook, I think. It's a client who acquired a piece a long time ago. She had 4 tiles, which were very expensive and very valuable for her. The first question I asked was, can I break them? Because that's what I do all the time. I break the china. And she said yes. So, and she also wanted certain colors. I wanted to interact with the colors that related to the tiles. So I wanted some kind of and again, you have to negotiate with the client. Commissions is like one of the most difficult things that you can do as an artist, because you generally start with somebody else's idea. So the freedom that you usually have when you create something that you just start, with your own inspiration is lost. So you have to negotiate between what you want and what your client wants. So I always find myself limited by what people want. However, I mean, the fact that you are like trying to like fulfill something that people cannot do themselves, which is part of what being an artist is, it makes me feel good. I like it, and I'm very happy with it. I challenged myself. I wasn't conventional, and well, I don't know, what do you think? I think that every time that I break china, it's like a fish. At the ocean get a fish, a man get an eye, or like a tree get leaves.